There is something I said a few weeks ago, I think, and I come back again and again on this idea because I really think it's really fundamental to change, to actually change things in your life. And this thing was okay. It's thinking is most of the time the opposite of doing. You know, I've already talked about that several times, but it's really, really important. It's, as I said, fundamental if you really want to change things. You know, when you think, you always relate to beliefs, to past experiences, because obviously, when you think out of what? Out of what you perceive, but what you perceive is based on what you've previously lived in life. And basically you think out of your memories, because that's the ground you have, the basis you have to elaborate new vision, new thoughts. Okay, and so obviously you're just remembering the past and continuing to elaborate based on the past, so there's nothing new that can arise from that. So I'm not saying that you don't have to, it's bad to think before acting, but most of the time we think way too much. We spend, most of our time thinking and thinking again and again and again, and we take very little actions, if at all. So, taking action, on the other hand, when you take action, you create something new because that's not based on memories, that's now. And now something happens, something on which you can, base your new behavior. You can relate to something that you've just done now, and that's a new thing on which, like a step on which you can put your foot in order to reach the next step, and again. That's a new reality that you are creating, on which you can really put your foot and take the next step. So acting is really the thing that really makes you move. It's like when you want to do something, it's like moving on a path. If you make a step forward and then another, obviously you're moving forward, you're going further, you're doing new things. Your life is changing, is evolving. If you just think, you're not moving. Basically, that's exactly the idea. And so taking action seems fundamental. So one more thing that come to my mind these days is, okay, taking massive actions. I talked about that yesterday in my podcast and my challenge, and it's a sentence I've heard been said by Tony Robbins the other day. And taking massive actions, it's what he recommends, because by taking massive actions when you have a goal, that really enables you to build a momentum. That's his argument. And it's very good because, as I said, yes, when you take action, you build something new. And out of that, you have already moved further. You see things otherwise, you perceive things otherwise based on what you've been doing. The more you do, the more you can perceive things otherwise, and the more you realize, well, that when you act, you move. When you move, you're in a new place, you move forward in your path to your goal. So obviously that's very important, and that's exactly what I've always had kind of difficulties, troubles to do. Taking action for me was in my thinking. Something like, okay, the more I take action, the less I have time to do what I want. But the more I have time to do what I want, the more I'm thinking, and the less I'm doing anything at all. So I don't do anything at all that I want when I'm just thinking. So yes, taking massive actions is really important. And for that, I um, tend to realize that what is very valuable is when you start to act a little in a direction, you act, you see a bit of results, and you realize that you can have more results actually. And the more you are realizing you can get results, the more you want more results, and the more you believe it's possible, the more you realize that's possible, that's completely possible. It's just up to you. So the more you want to move fast, the more you want to take actions. And that's the snowball effect, as I was saying yesterday. It's exactly like that. And for that, it's important to start acting, just acting. And it's a long time I've realized that, when you don't know what to do, just act, do something, act. It can be just have a walk in outside, and it's already an action. It starts to, you start to feel differently just because you're acting. Life is about acting, not thinking. And so I think there are a lot of uh, solutions, a lot of new things that start just by acting. Everything starts by acting, but we are most of the time, kind of refrained by the fear of mistakes, any kind of mistakes, the fear of rejection, the fear of the view of others, the fear of stumbling. And all that is about thinking. So acting is kind of the solution to all that. So that's my thought for today, just to emphasize this idea that when we act, we perceive, we feel life differently, and we perceive new horizons very quickly. But that's by acting, not by knowing what to do. It doesn't really matter what you do, just take a step and then things change. If you realize it's not the right direction, you take a step in the other direction. It's not longer, it's even quicker. The more you take steps, the better you get. So that's my message for today. Don't hesitate to comment to let me know if you relate to that, and I'll try to take more steps for the end of the day. Bye bye.